Good morning. Happy Tuesday. I am outside because my mom is inside. We had a wedding in the family yesterday, and my mom spent the night. So she's probably up. She wakes up early, but I don't want to wake her up. So, last we were talking about was procrastination. And I told you about patterns. We talked about how to recognize these habitual patterns that you have. And do you have feelings, do you have states that you engage in on a regular basis, both positive and negative? And if you do, how do you get to them? So, like with procrastination, if it's something that you engage in on a regular basis, how do you do it? Do you start by saying something to yourself like, I don't want to do this, or I have too many things to do, or I don't have enough time? How is it that you do the pattern? What is it that you do in order to engage in that particular state? So if you feel happy a good portion of the time, how do you do that? What do you do in order to feel happy? What is your recipe in order to do that? If you feel overwhelmed, what's your recipe in order to do that? These different habitual patterns, these recipes, remember we talked about how you can change them if you want to. You can take and change the order, change the sequence, change how it is that you want to feel, change your relationship to those events. So if you've got some states that you engage in on a regular basis that are very positive, let's figure out how you do that and then engage in them more often. And if you've got some that you engage in that are negative, then let's figure that out. So when you go into a state that you have on a regular basis, how do you do that? What is it that you do in order to do that? What do you see first? What do you think of first? What do you do first in order to get into that state? And I would do this with a couple of different states that you do on a regular basis. Find out your recipe, and if the recipe is something that's easy for you to discover, when you start to look at it, you can go, okay, I can apply this to anything that I want to do. At the end of the day, all of these different ideas, remember, we were talking about the 6 human needs, we were talking about procrastination, how does the 6 human needs relate to the different states that you have? All of this is designed to help you with state management. That's what all of this is there to do. So remember, we said if you have a state that you engage in on a regular basis, or a pattern that you engage in on a regular basis, you do it because of the 6 human needs, because it fulfills the needs. So find a more elegant way to fulfill the need. So like with procrastination, why is it that you would engage in procrastination on a regular basis? What needs does it fulfill? Well, it probably gives you some certainty. It probably gives you a little bit of significance, but it doesn't fulfill those needs on a level 8 or 9 or 7 or 6. It fulfills those needs on a much lower level. But if you procrastinate, you do a specific pattern, and typically you say something to yourself first. So with me, if I procrastinate, it's, I don't want to do this. This isn't what I want to do. That's what I say in my head at first. And then, I go into a pattern. Well, when you don't procrastinate, you also have a pattern. Something happens so that you have to do it. You decide that you're going to not procrastinate and you're going to engage in your personal power. So what is it that you do in order to do that? You do a different pattern than when you procrastinate. So you probably say something to yourself like, this has got to get done. And then you start taking action in order to get that done. So find the recipe for those particular things. What we did before was we found what human needs those fulfilled. Why is it that you did that? So now you can say, okay, what's the recipe for doing that? So go back and figure out what is it that you do and write it down. What do you see? What do you think? What do you focus on when you decide to procrastinate? And what do you focus on when you decide to not procrastinate? If you at times on a regular basis feel excited, how do you do that? What's the recipe for doing that? And then also include in that, how does it fulfill those 6 human needs? what you're going to find is you can repeat this. So try to do procrastination, and then try to do 2 positive emotions that you feel on a regular basis and 2 negative emotions that you feel on a regular basis. And, and don't worry if this seems difficult. So was riding a bike the first time that you did it. But we talked about how those things fulfill the 6 human needs. Now let's talk about the specific recipe that you use in order to get those. Because you're going to be able to get rid of the recipes that you don't want to and repeat the ones that you do want to. All of this is designed to get us to manage our state. It's Tuesday. We're going to have a short week. I hope you had a great Memorial Day. It's actually somewhat warm outside. It's going to be lovely weather around here, thank God. I get a Tony Robbins event this weekend, so I'm super excited. So in the words of the great Dan Mahoney, let's get after it. Because at the end of the day, the difference between those that accomplish their goals and those that don't is whether or not they take action. And all of these things that I'm talking about are specifically designed to help you to take more action. The more you do, the more outcomes you're going to get, the more confidence you're going to have, the more you're going to work towards results, and it's going to continue to perpetuate. So, gave you some homework. It's a little bit complicated. Give it a shot. You can do it. We did these things as they relate to the 6 human needs, and let's find out the recipes. What do you see first? What do you think of first? What thought goes in your head? What action do you take? And then write those recipes down. And then we're going to work with them a little bit tomorrow. Have a great day, everybody. We're all in this together. Let's take care of each other.